Well, from my last cake, which was the 3-tier wedding cake, to this one, a DIY toolbox cake. I do love the variety of this job. So the cake is the toolbox, and I've used a little cardboard dowel for the handle and covered that in fondant. And I've done a wood effect on the fondant panels around the side, some big bolts and nails holding it all together. I've used edible print for the tape measure, back that onto fondant so that it's able to stay in that curly position. I've got tape measure, which is out of fondant, and all the tools, again, fully edible out of fondant. I used a mould to get those. You can do them by hand, but it's a lot quicker to get moulds for them. And if you're gonna use that particular mould a lot, I recommend you getting moulds like DIY and things like that. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that I've used them in the last 6 months or so, so definitely worth the investment. So the sides that are holding the handle up, made out of fondant again, but they are mixed with some Tylose powder to get it solid so that it freestands like that. You can make it out of fondant. Now I wouldn't make it out of fondant because even if you left it for days it wouldn't be hard enough to hold itself up, but you can use modelling paste. That works really well. I didn't have any to hand, so as I say, I just mixed a bit of the CMC powder, I think it's called, or the Tylose powder into it, and that sort of, it's got an agent in it that hardens the fondant up a lot quicker. And then I've done a little sort of name tag, like on a slant, because it's like DIY and it's all a bit crooked, and if it's anything like my husband, his DIY is a bit crooked. No, I'm joking. So yeah, it's for a little lad this. He's only 3, I believe, but he's absolutely mad on his tools. So he's got his own little toolbox with tools he can put in his mouth without mum and dad shouting at him, because he can eat these. And he's not going to hurt himself on them either. But yeah, quite happy with how that one's turned out. Quite realistic. And fairly simple to do, with it just being sort of a square, or should I say like a rectangle shape, and then just the panels. You don't have to be super neat on the sponge on the inside. No sharp edges required, no neatness. I do enjoy cakes like this when you don't have to be super neat. And I've just decorated the board with, I've used an impression, like a little cobbled impression mat rather, and then just dusted, just to give it a bit of depth. Again with the sign, just dusted that to give it a bit of depth. The wood effect on the sign is a impression mat again. The wood effect on the box itself, I've just used a little tool to engrave just a few lines to make it more realistic and look a bit like wood, but you could use the impression mat if you wanted to go full effect wood, but I just thought like a rusticy effect was better for the toolbox itself. So there we are, that's 3D toolbox cake. Everything is completely edible, apart from the handle, of course. That's a cardboard dowel, don't eat that.